my boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have needed is Death Stranding, a game developed by Kojima Productions, which is using Decima engine. So this game it is very important for the PC community, first of all because this game was a full exclusive for PS4 and PS4 Pro, so it was a Sony exclusive that it is now available on the PC at the moment. And that is also a great thing about this game. It is the game that debuts the release of Decima engine on the PC. Decima engine, it was also an engine that it was used only for PS4 and PS4 Pro, which was used in games like Killzone and the upcoming Ryzen Zero Dawn, which will also release on the PC, and it was available for the consoles for years by now. Alright, but we are here to talk a little bit about the performance of Death Stranding. I will talk a little bit more about the game a little bit more forward, because I know that this game divides communities. Some people just love this game, some other people just don't. But we are here to talk about the performance that I do get with the GTX 1650 Super. So what I really got in here, it is the performance that I got with 1080p maximum settings, with exception for this setting in here, which is memory for streaming. My recommendation it is for you to keep on low if you have a 3 or 4 GB graphic card. If you raise to default, the game will just stutter a lot. I'm not really sure if this impacts the performance, I mean if it impacts the textures or anything like it, but what I do know is that I need to use that thing on low or the game just stutters. And the minimum requirements actually specify that. We need to have 3 GB or 4 GB graphic card as minimum. So, like I did told you, I tried the game with multiple different settings, and with 1080p maximum settings, with memory streaming on low, my experience was above 60 frames per second pretty much all the time during the gameplay scenarios. At 1440p median settings, again with memory streaming on low, what I got was a performance above 50 frames per second, despite the average was also below 60, and at 4K median settings, texture streaming on low, and by using Fidelity FX, which is an upscaling technique, what I got it was an experience pretty much above 30 frames per second. If you don't use Fidelity FX at 4K, what happens really is that the game will perform under 30 frames per second. So if you plan to play this game at 4K and using Fidelity FX, you are not running the game completely at 4K, you are just playing the game with a lower resolution scale that it was also upscaled to 4K. And then there is some sort of post-processing and CAS contrast stuff that tries to sharpen a little bit more the graphics quality. For the RTX GPU users, people have DLSS, which should improve a lot the performance without breaking too much of the visuals. But since we have the GTX 1650 Super, we don't have RTX or just DLSS, because this is something that it isn't really supported on this graphic card. So, like I did told you, this game runs easily above 60 frames per second, at least on these first scenarios that I did try it out. Although there is a caveat to that, it doesn't really run above 60 frames per second all the time. Gameplay, as far as I did test, yes, it did run above 60 frames per second. The lowest I have saw it was 64, so which means that in some forward environments it might drop a little bit in some more demanding scenarios, I don't know, but where the game did not run at 60 frames per second all the time, it was cutscenes. Although many people don't really care too much about it, since they weren't really playable moments of the game. But still, it is important to mention that cutscenes are considerably more demanding than the gameplay of the game, and what happens really is that it will drop below 60 frames per second on this game. Alright, so the GTX 1650 Super can't deliver 60 frames per second all the time on this game. It delivers 60 frames per second on the gameplay, but cutscenes, well, not really. That's what you should know about it. Alright, so let's talk a little bit now about the game. So, Death Stranding, a game that was able to divide communities. There are people that absolutely love this game, and there are a ton of people that actually hate this game. There are multiple reasons for people not enjoying this game. The first one, it is what I believe to be the fact that the entire game, it will be you delivering stuff from point A to point B. And people criticize that this game it is shit because of that. Well, I can't really agree with that, because we have a ton of PC games out there which we do exactly the same thing. Take for example Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator. What you do the entire game is deliver stuff from point A to point B, and I actually like those games because I have a Euro Truck. That is also the thing that this game can be very challenging, alright, in doing that, because the places where you travel into it, or the roads where you need to travel, are actually pretty challenging. There are rivers, there are peak mountains, which if you do anything wrong, you can fall and damage your goods, damage yourself. There are real enemies with this game, and there are monsters after you at some points. So it is not really an easy game. It is not just really going from point A to point B. There are a lot of stuff that is inside this game to try to destroy you, to try to destroy the things that you are carrying. So it's no different from a snow runner, where you need to go from point A to point B in different roads, where you need to think and find ways to go up that hill, for example. The difference is, this game, it is built in a fictional world imagined by Kojima, and so if you don't like Kojima, probably this game won't be for you, absolutely, because Kojima have an imagination completely over the top, which create games that usually us are very hard to understand what the hell is he doing with the story, or what the hell is he doing with the stuff that you can do with the game. So there are a lot of stuff in Kojima mind that we don't understand, and this game have a lot of mystery on the story, and probably you will spend most of this game without understanding what the hell is going on with this world. So that's Kojima for you. Kojima usually do this in their games, and this game it is no exception. Everything will be weird. You won't be understanding most of the stuff until we reach the end of the game, and while you don't understand, you will be delivering stuff from point A to point B to point C all the time. So I do understand why people think that this game it is boring, but I'm not going to say that this game it is a bad game, because it isn't. It is just a different game, just like an Euro Truck, just like a Snow Runner. But it is that type of simulation game built in a fictional world, which don't exist, with enemies and the story behind it, whatever it is hard to comprehend or not. This is Death Stranding. All right. So the challenges that you can face on terrain, on the terrain of this game, can be kind of hard. So you need to have gadgets to help you out to traverse the world. There are a thing that I can't really confirm, because I never played that much of the game and I didn't saw too much reviews, but this game should be always online as far as I know, because the stuff that you drop into this world, the ladders and all the kind of structures that you use to help you out traverse the world, should be available for other players, because the idea is that to create a sensation that there are other players on the world that left a stair there, or that left a building there to help them out, so you can really access to other stuff that people did left on their game. So it's like a little bit like Dark Souls, when you see the stamps on the floor, the blood stamps, but this time it is the equipment. I can't confirm this, but I believe I have read this somewhere, and I think the game works this way. So I think it's a quite interesting game, but honestly it won't be for everyone. If you are a guy that you don't want to spend your time traveling from one point to another, like Euro Truck or like Snow Runner, probably this game it is not for you. If you don't like the bullshit type of story that Kojima usually releases, this game it is not for you. But all the rest of the people that have the patience to do this, to enjoy the stories of behind Kojima, this game it is entirely for you. Alright, that's my own opinion regarding the game. So now the price. This game costs at the moment $59.99 on Steam, so it's a full price game, no surprise I guess. And that's all that I want to talk about Death Stranding. In case you have any doubt about anything, just leave a comment on the comment section of the video. If you did enjoy the video, just leave a like, subscribe if you want more benchmarks of the GTX 1650 Super. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.